everybody, it's Jason. Welcome back to the Wealth Advisory's Top 10. We're on to December of 2022. It's actually December while we're filming this too. It's really weird because usually we're filming it technically in the last week of the previous month, but because of the way that the distribution schedule went this month, and I was a little bit sick last week, we decided to do this literally the day before we're going out. So this is going to be the freshest content that you guys have seen in probably ever, which is pretty exciting and really cool. But anyway, it was a rough month for the top 10 in November. I really hate to say that because the markets were up, up, and up, and our top 10, I think we had 2 winners, and the other 8 were down. Most of the other 8 were just down a little bit, but we did have a couple of big losers. I don't really want to focus on those. We ended up clearing one of those out of the model portfolio. Management just did not perform well, came out with bad earnings results and bad forward guidance, and the stock just got super punished. I think it got punished a little bit more than it needed to, but it dropped so far, it's going to take a really long time for it to come back up. So we're just better off putting our money elsewhere. That was Telos, by the way, for those of you who are keeping track. It was a rough one, and our portfolio didn't do too well. We were really heavy energy, and energy stocks kind of got hit pretty hard. There was some mixed news sort of out there on energy. OPEC decided that they were going to cut production, which should technically bolster the price of oil. But then China decided that it was going to basically lock down again because it still got its zero COVID policy. So that took a lot of the air out of the oil market too. Our oil stocks all ended up finishing down. Again, not too much down, but still down when the markets were up. We don't like to see that. But it's a new month, and this is going to be a new top 10 list, so we've got another chance to outperform the markets. We have been beating the markets all year up to this point, so you can't win them all. And we didn't win last month, but hopefully we can turn things around, and we can give you some market-beating picks this month for December 2022. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And as usual, I'm going to run through our first 5, numbers 10 through 6, or 6 through 10, depending on which direction you like to count. And then we'll stop to a little bit of recap, and then I'm going to cut it off for those of you watching on YouTube. I put this out for my paying subscribers, and it's only fair, since they're paying to get it, that they get a little bit more VIP access. So we'll cut it off after the first 5, and our top 5 will be just for our paying subscribers. But if you're watching on YouTube, you decide you want to see the rest of it, you want to be a member, I highly recommend it. It's not just because it's my service. It's actually well worth the price. Last month's not a great example, but the previous month, you could have easily paid for a whole year's subscription with the gains that you made from October's top 10. So it's definitely worth it. Maybe not a great pitch after last month's performance, but if you decide you want to join, there is a link in the description below the video. Just go ahead, click on it, and you'll get a special offer to join us as a paying subscriber. So now that all of that's been said and out of the way, let's get into our first 5 and see what our list looks like this month. And first off, at number 10, we've got Qualcomm. Qualcomm, let's see, do I have, all right. Trades under the ticker symbol QCOM, right? And Qualcomm is this is going to be a momentum play for us. Technology has not been great this year. It's been getting hit by the fear of higher rates. Rates are obviously going to keep going up, but we let winners run here, and this one was up 12% last month. So, it got sold off after presenting mixed earnings and not the best forward guidance early in November. But it recovered literally everything that it lost after that earnings report last month. And I think it could keep drifting higher. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to put it in on the number 10 spot, let this winner run, and see if the momentum holds for December. All right. So next up, we've got, in the number 9 spot, Albemarle. Now, Albemarle is our big lithium producer. It goes back and forth with SQM as the number 1 and number 2 lithium producer in the world, which means it basically produces more lithium than anybody else. And the only time that it doesn't produce more lithium than anybody else is when SQM steps up and takes that top spot for a little bit. Anyway, we love lithium. Lithium is a long-term play here. on the electrification of the world. You know, everybody's moving towards more electric vehicles, more renewable energy, sustainable power grids, all of that stuff, and you need lithium for it. You know, there are other things that you're going to need as well as lithium, but lithium is going to be a key ingredient. So, you know, lithium prices are going to keep climbing in the long term. Albemarle is sort of a momentum play. It was up 7% last month, and it's trading above its 200-day moving average, which is a very bullish technical indicator. So since we think lithium prices are going to keep rising in the long term, we want everybody to have Albemarle in the portfolio. We're going to put it in as number 9 this month. And before I forget, it trades under the ticker symbol ALB for Albemarle. And that's our number 9 pick this month. Let's go ahead and clear that off and move on to number 8, Americold, trading under the ticker COLD, cold. And Americold was hot last month. It was up 24% over the course of the month, which is pretty huge for any stock, especially a REIT. But, you know, like I said, we like to keep our winners in there and let them run. So we're going to keep letting this winner run. It also is trading above its 200-day moving average, which, again, it's a very bullish indicator. For those of you not familiar with Americold, Americold is it's a real estate investment trust that owns cold storage properties. So, you know, the places where your groceries go before they get to the grocery store. You know, so it owns those distribution centers. It's a very fragmented market. Americold is basically the biggest company in that market, and they only own about like 20 to 25% of the market. So they've got a lot of room going forward, you know, in the long term to consolidate that market and bring more things under the Americold label. But in the short term, we like their momentum. They revised their forward guidance upward and got an upgrade last month after putting out their earnings report. So the analysts over at Bank of America really like Americold. They think it's a great recession-resistant industry. I think so too. And like I said, it ran 24% last month. So let's see if it can run a little bit more in December. And let's clear this off. And we'll move on to number 7, running right through this list here. Number 7, we've got Freeport-McMoRan, copper and gold. Ticker symbol there is FCX. FCX. It's a funny looking X, but that is an X, I promise. This one, another big momentum play. Freeport was up 30% last month. Copper prices and copper stocks had just been getting hammered. Because people are worried about a recession coming. China keeps locking down and opening up and locking down and opening up again and then locking down some more and then locking down even more. So that's, you know, that's tough on growth. China's a big driver of growth internationally. You know, commodities like copper respond to growth. When global economies are growing, everybody needs more commodities to help keep that growth alive. So people are a little bit scared about the whole China situation. People are a little bit concerned about a recession and demand for that. But at the same time, copper is literally the lifeblood of all electricity. You know, I was talking about how we're really bullish on lithium in the long term because the world wants to electrify. Well, the one thing that's more necessary than lithium, because there are other battery metals, is copper. You know, copper is what we use to transmit electricity, any electricity, through your car, through the grid, through your house, through your cell phone, copper. You know, so copper is really important. And like I said, it's been getting sold off. Last month it was up really big because there were rumors that China was maybe going to stop doing this whole zero COVID and ease some of their restrictions. It looks like as of this morning, that's actually going to be the case. You know, those were just rumors last month, but after widespread protests throughout China, it looks like their president has gotten the message and is going to relax some of those zero COVID, very strict lockdown policies. And again, we let the winners run. So all of that stuff is really good for Freeport. It's got the momentum behind it after a 30% gain last month. It's trading above its 200-day moving average, which is a bullish technical indicator. And it looks like China's going to relax its zero COVID policy, which means they're probably going to be using a lot more copper. So it comes in as our number 7 pick. Hopefully it can keep up that momentum and run a little bit more in December. And so now we're coming up to number 6, the last of our first 5, and it is the Guggenheim Strategic Opportunities Fund. It trades under the ticker symbol GOF. GOF. And usually this one is all about income. You know, it's a strategic opportunities fund. It used to be known as the Strategic Income and Opportunities Fund. And really, like, the whole point of this fund is to collect dividends and get that cash flow. It pays a monthly dividend. We will be getting one in the next couple of weeks, so that can help pay for Christmas presents. But also this time, it's low in its trading range. You know, it trades in a very tight range, and it'll be up and it'll be down, and it'll be up and it'll be down. And right now it's down towards the bottom of its trading range. You know, it's very low. It's not all the way at the bottom, but it's down low in it. And that's a good time to buy it because, you know, it's a very predictable trading range. It always stays in this range, so it is going to get back up there. So with it being low in its range, it's a good time to buy shares. It'll also let us capture this month's dividend and capture a higher yield on cost because, you know, we're going to get the same dividend that we would get whether it was trading at $20 or $14, and it's trading around $14 right now. So, you know, let's build that low-cost base, and we'll get capital appreciation from it later, and we'll collect some big dividends this month too. So there is number 6, the Guggenheim Strategic Opportunities Fund, ticker symbol GOF, GOF, and that is our top 5, or is our first 5. And so let's go ahead and do a little recap here. First up, we had Qualcomm. We love Qualcomm. You know, it makes the it makes cell phones work basically. You know, without their the patents that they hold on the cellular modems, we wouldn't be able to call somebody from our cell phone. So that's a great stock. It's got momentum behind it, and we're going to see if it can run some more this month. Next up, we have Albemarle at number 9. The ticker symbol is ALB. And Albemarle is one of the world's biggest lithium producers. Lithium is going to be basically the fuel of the future, or at least one of the fuels of the future. We love it long term. Prices are going to keep rising long term, and it has some momentum behind it, so we're going to see if it can keep running in December. Next up at number 8, we went with Americold Realty. That's ticker symbol COLD. And Americold is our refrigerator, basically our refrigerator storage. You know, they store things in refrigerators before they get to the grocery store. It's recession resistant. It went on a big run last month, so we're going to keep it in there and see if it can keep running again this time. Up next at number 7, we had Freeport-McMoRan, FCX. This is our copper producer. They also produce gold, but we're in it for the copper. We really like that. It's going to be necessary in the future. We're going to have to produce a lot more of it. Prices are probably going to go up. And with China potentially going back from the zero COVID policy and reducing the restrictions, we could see it run this month on that. And then finally, wrapping up the first 5, we have the Guggenheim Strategic Opportunities Fund. We love it for the income. It pays us monthly dividends. And right now it's down towards the bottom of its range, so we think that there's a good shot for capital appreciation there too. So we'll get some capital appreciation, plus we'll get some income to help pay for Christmas presents, or Hanukkah presents, or Kwanzaa presents, or Diwali presents, or whatever other holidays are out there that have presents this time of year or cost money. But everything pretty much costs money, so it'll help pay for all the things that cost money. And we love it. And so those are our first 5, Qualcomm, Albemarle, Americold, Freeport, and Guggenheim. And for those of you watching on YouTube, this is where we leave you. Thank you, as always, for tuning in this month. I really appreciate it. If you want to join us, please click the link in the description below the video. We love having new members. It's really well worth it. But if you don't, I'll keep making these and you can keep watching them. All I ask is that you subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and hit that bell to make sure you get notified when I post more stuff.